Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Dojo Live recap show. Today is Monday, April 19th, 2021. I am Tulio Siragusa and joined today by Carlos Ponce from Cuernavaca, Mexico. We are excited to speak with you about the shows we had last week. Hi, Carlos. Welcome back.
Thank you, Tulio. Appreciate it. Had a
All
great
right.
weekend.
Yeah, good, good. So I think we had 3 or 4 shows. How many
Three
shows did we have?
shows.
We
We
had
had three
three shows,
shows.
like we. Yes, we had prediction gaming apps taking the world by storm with John Vitti, who's the CEO of VersusGame. Then we also had a conversation on Wednesday morning with Parag Shah, who's the vice president at Wakefern Food Corp. We talked about grocery retail in the digital world. And finally, our discussion with Chad Bergroff, who's the CTO at Dispoteca. We talked about end of life, IT equipment, security, responsibility, and convenience. Liked all the shows. Really enjoyed the one with John Vitti. It seemed like we had some great chemistry. We're having a lot of fun. We had a lot of fun off the air with him as well,
Oh yeah. Hmm.
and really interesting application he's built. I was actually able to download it and check it out. So basically, the way it works is you predict who's going to win a game, who's going to win a title match, who's going to win a contest of any type, whether it's music or sports, you name it. And it's like really, literally you get a side by side window of so and so versus so and you pick the one who's going to be the winner, and you can actually bet on that win and win prizes and cash. So it's kind of a fun way to engage very quickly. And monetize the knowledge or the ability to predict the future in some cases. But what I really like the most is the potential this creates for brands, right? Where brands can actually create communities and engage with their end users, create games to get people to participate. Specifically, if you're in the entertainment industry or in the sports world, it's a fantastic way to build community. That's what I
Yeah.
enjoyed about that conversation. What about you?
Yeah, and one of the things that definitely stuck because I even thought I don't know if you remember Tulio, but I even thought of a possibility of putting it up on a T-shirt or something and just sell it. Become millionaire, because the phrase was knowledge should be rewarded. Okay, so that's one of one of the phrases that our guest Paul coined, and I was thinking, he's right. So how can we be rewarded by the knowledge that we acquire, and doing it in a fun way, just like uh, the way that Versus Game does. So it's about putting your knowledge to good use, make some the possibility of making some money, and creating a fun game out of it. So the whole formula is definitely something that I really look forward to trying myself. I haven't had a chance to go there and actually test it out, but anybody can do it. So that's what stood out for me. Knowledge should be rewarded, and I already saw this like on a T-shirt.
Yeah, forget the old saying, knowledge is power. Knowledge equals cash.
Yeah, exactly.
I have to tell you, I played on that thing. It's very addictive. I think I won 4 out of the 5 predictions. So
Did you
it,
make any money yet?
no, I was just goofing around, playing around. I'm sure the minute you start playing with money, you don't get them right.
Yeah.
It's Murphy's Law. Okay, let's continue on. We had a conversation with Parag Shah on Wednesday morning. We talked about the evolution of the grocery business, specifically what's happened in the past year during the pandemic. Wakefern Food Corp owns a lot of different grocery chains like ShopRite in the Northeast. They've also acquired some some new stores in Manhattan, and interesting how supply chain was challenged tremendously last year. Uh, the grocery industry has always prided themselves on just-in-time inventory, the ability to track point of sale data back into their inventory system so that everything is always there just in time. But obviously, a lot of that changed during the pandemic because everybody moved to home shopping, home eating, which put more stress and demand on grocers who had to adapt. And those who leveraged digital tools and technology did very well. They had tremendous growth in the past year, and it's a wake up call for those who have kind of stood behind and try to maintain the brick and mortar model. You have to have a hybrid of both in the grocery business. So that was an interesting conversation. If you missed it, check it out. Very informative. And then what about? I know you. Let's move on to the next one. You want to take the next one?
Yeah, definitely. I was surprised at how young a company is and how promising it is, because one of the things that I do recall that definitely caught my attention was how streamlined a process to just get rid of unused equipment can be, and it can benefit everybody, all parties involved, and it can benefit not only a business asset disposal or unused asset disposal in terms of the computer equipment, but also adding to this problem that is created when not easily recyclable materials can need to be get rid of. So it's a good way. It's a solution that with different ends, with different possibilities, and I envision, and as I said to Chad, was I would really like to see this skyrocket, because it's going to solve more than one problem for a lot of people. So that's what definitely pulled my attention to this one, Tulio.
You know what I like about it is the idea that you can incorporate sustainability and something that's good for the planet and with profits. You can actually do something that benefits the planet and make profits. They have enabled companies to find a way to get rid of the old equipment, old assets, and in some cases make money from those recyclable assets. But in other cases, it's just a lot of work. If you had to do this on your own, you'd have to go and develop relationships with everybody, from someone who might take the metal of a rack on a data center to melt it down, to someone who might take the chips and repurpose them, or to someone who might, take the wiring, tons of wiring, right? So there's so much that goes into these data centers. For example, think of a Google-sized data center. It's like the size of a stadium. What do you do with all that stuff? So you have to go and build all these relationships with different partners to essentially get rid of those assets. Whereas with Dispoteca, they do all that. So they actually provide the technology to make it self-service for the end customer, but there's a white glove component to it where they go in and negotiate the deals and make the SLAs with the vendors. So it's not completely like just put it up there in our marketplace. It is a high touch service that they've incorporated tools to not have to make a call to someone saying, hey, I got this equipment I need to dispose of. They can just put it up there and everything is taken care of. So good example of doing good while making a profit, right?
Exactly.
All right, Carlos, what do we got coming up this week?
Yeah, we got two shows, Tulio. The one we'll be having tomorrow is with Shrisha Ramdas, the Senior Vice President of Strike Deck Medallia, on the topic of evolving from narrow scope to C-scope in customer success. So that's what we have for tomorrow. And then for Thursday, we're going to be speaking with FISNA, with the PH, Paul Powers, the CEO of FISNA, and the topic is going to be, think the internet was revolutionary? We're about to see something even bigger. How 3D code will change our lives more than any technology breakthrough in decades. So those are the two interviews that we have for this week, Tulio.
I'm looking forward to that last one. Sounds very interesting.
Right here on DojoLIVE at 12 p.m. Pacific as ever. Don't forget that.
All right, guys. See you again tomorrow at 12 noon Pacific.
See you then. Take care.